Hello and welcome to another week of development on the Foundation. This week I had a big focus on the AI for groups of interest, and that took a lot of my time this week. It was pretty rough. I don't have a lot to show you on that yet, so I'm probably just going to move stuff around while I talk. But so the AI this week, I was hoping to have quite a bit done. Hopefully having some visual things to show you, but the first half of the week didn't go very well. And eventually I just ended up deciding that I had to throw it out, that it just was not working and it was going to take too much time to get it working, so I had to dump all the code that I'd been working on somewhere around the end of Wednesday, beginning of Thursday. I dumped it all and started over again on the AI. So bad news is, didn't make a lot of progress on that this week. Good news is, one, I did get some AI up and running. Right now all it's doing is randomly picking actions for the AI to do, just randomly. There's no intelligent thought in it, but that's a start. The action code is there, the framework for having the AI pick the actions is there. Even the framework for making them pick it intelligently is there. It's just not being used, and with the basic of doing it random, I can build off that, refine it, and get it up better and better, and make it smarter and smarter as I continue to develop it. So the foundation did get in place this week. I thought I was going to be a lot farther, but I just kept tripping over my own code, so I had to step back and take it more simply. The other good news of that is, even though I was messing up and tripping over myself, that stuff wasn't actually wasted. That code that I started with will probably, in combination with what I've been developing now, is probably going to be the basis of the AI for all the other aspects of the game. It will work for that, just it did not work for the groups. Alright, second of all, I do have some other good news and things that I've worked on this week, because I was smashing my head against all the really annoying problems I was having, and so I started working on some other issues. And while working on other issues, I ended up discovering some things that I think will be exciting for people. So first of all, I've had a few people that have, well, they haven't come straight out and said it to me, but they've commented like, oh, it's so sad that I don't know English well enough for this game, or oh, it's really a bummer that this game is just in English, or things along that line. No one's come straight out, but basically people in their heads at least are wishing that the game will be localized. So on one half of this thing, I'm your typical dumb American, so I only know one language and maybe, snippets of pieces out of a few others. But basically I only know English. However, I did some digging, did some research. I found out that there's a library out there that's free, big bonus, that's called Smart Localization. It should be fairly easy to tie into the game. The base benefit of Smart Localization is that I can set it up so that I can translate the various words. I can even hook up so that different images or different files are loaded in order to localize the images and the moddable data that the game will run. So that's a big plus. The other thing that's surprisingly excellent is that it also provides a connection to something called Microsoft Translate, I believe. What that'll do is that as I enter in all the text values in English and create a profile for other languages such as Russian, Chinese, whatever I end up needing, I can then basically click a button and it will send all my English through Microsoft Translate and provide a translation in that language that I selected for me. Now, as anyone that's used computer translation knows, it can be pretty dang terrible. However, it's also readable by people in that language, even if it's laughable at times. It will provide files that I can share with people that do know multiple languages, and they should be able to provide better translations of the phrases, or at least somebody that only knows, say, Russian can look at the Russian file and probably guess what the computer translation was trying to do and didn't quite make it there, and so they can fix it. The other thing that's cool about this is that I should be able to localize the web addresses and settings. I still have to do more research on this, but I should be able to point the game at the other localized websites for the SCP Wiki, such as the China site or the Russian site. And in doing so, I may be able to, and I still have to do more research on this to see how different these sites are set up, but I may be able to point at and load the respective languages' SCP data so that they can get some of their language-specific SCPs in the game. But that should be an exciting thing for people of other languages. It's not a huge priority for me right now, so you probably won't see much with it as I continue on, because I'm focused on getting a game that's playable together. But as I hit other hard things, as I develop the AI, you may see some of this stuff start to sneak in as I take breaks and think about something else, so I avoid getting my brain burnt out. I talked with a few friends of mine the other day, and they told me what I think everyone's been thinking, but just hasn't dared tell me yet, and that is that the UI looks horrible. And I mean, I knew that some of it looked horrible, and I'm working on improving parts of it, but something they pointed out that I hadn't realized yet is that my color schemes are pretty bad, and that I could do a lot to make the color schemes better. So I've been doing I did a little bit of research this week on color schemes, and I think something I'm going to be working on is trying to make several different monochromatic schemes, and they will tie into the paradigms, and they're not going to be red, blue, and black, but this image has to be changed too. But basically each paradigm is going to have a color associated to it, and the more you trend towards that color, whatever your leading color is, and the stronger you get in that color, it will blend your UI towards that color. The center will have a white color scheme. So as part of that, I've been doing a lot of work trying to figure out how to change the UI. Anyone that's used Unity probably knows that the new Unity UI system, not the easiest to do mass style changes. So as part of it, I also built in something for modders too. So here I have this debug console, and it has a lot of features that people can use both to hopefully report errors and also to test their mods. I will be outputting most of the errors that could occur normally without making the game explode into the console, so that people can load it up and see what's been happening in the game. And that will give modders the ability to watch how their stuff's being read in, things like that. There's command lists, and I will make lots of commands that can be used by people to test mods, check out things, or just play around with the game itself. So here I have this change color group, and so if I click that, you can see that the button over on the left just changed to an emergency monochromatic color scheme that I've been working with. It preserves the transparency. So discussed a few things in this video. Be sure to throw back feedback at me, tell me what you think, and I'll continue making progress. With how well I've done on the AI this week, I suspect I'll be able to show you the AI actually making decisions next week. Also, just as one last note, I know that a lot of people would really like to know when they will get to, try the game and play the game out. So a lot of people say, it'll be done when it's done, which really is true and isn't necessarily a bad plan. But it's not a very interesting plan or a very committed plan, and often leads to people, not keeping their commitments or ever getting finished with the game. So I'm not going to give a release date. You won't see an alpha to play with until April at the earliest, but starting in April there's a good chance that I will have an alpha out for everyone to play with. And I want to have that, even if it's a pretty soft commit, I want to have that out there, something for me to work towards and for everyone to get excited about. I'm going to keep up the good work. It won't really be very game-like by that point, but you'll at least be able to play around with it, try out the UI, try out doing a few different types of actions in the game, and hopefully be able to give really good bug reports and feedback on what you like, what you don't like, and what you still want to see. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.